Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and this is my husband Drew, and on this channel we talk about life and relationships after leaving the church, and we also do some commentary on the goings on in evangelical Christianity. Well guys, the rapture didn't happen again for the second time.
Well, actually we haven't left Austin for the duration of that period where, like, you know, there was the maybe unsure, maybe it's the rapture. I don't know. It's actually the rapture is a little bit later. We've been in Austin that whole time. Maybe because this is the godless blue city in the sea of red Texas, we didn't notice because everyone here is a non-believer, obviously.
That could be. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Although I have been texting with my family, and if the rapture did happen, I'm pretty sure they would be raptured. Unless somebody's posing as them, or maybe it's like demons talking to me
what it is.
through my
That's
phone.
probably what it is.
I do want to give a little bit of a background on how we got here. So if you guys remember, Christian TikTok was going crazy predicting that the rapture was going to happen on September 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And this all came about because there was this pastor in South Africa who claimed that that was when the rapture was going to happen, and a bunch of people believed him. Obviously, the 23rd came and went, and it didn't happen. Then the pastor moved the goalpost and said, actually, the rapture is going to happen on October 6th or 7th because God apparently was using the wrong calendar, because back in biblical times, they were using the Julian calendar, and now we use the Gregorian calendar.
I mean, conversion errors get you with prophecy all the time, so it's understandable.
So he was like, well, the Julian calendar is 13 days behind our current one, so actually it's going to happen October 6th or 7th.
Yeah, naturally.
Today is October 9th, and the rapture didn't happen again.
Womp womp.
So I thought we'd take a look again at some people on TikTok and see what they were talking about leading up to this second rapture.
Because, I mean, believe it or not, people actually bought that the rapture was still going to happen, even though it didn't happen the first time.
Yeah. Okay, so the first individual we're going to be checking out here, we didn't take a look at her TikToks back when we made our first video, but she was somebody who fully believed that the rapture was going to happen on September 23rd.
Okay.
But then when it got moved back, she started believing that it was going to be then. We're going to first look at one of her TikToks from before the 23rd to kind of get a flavor for what she's all about.
Stop scrolling. I'm being so for real right now. This is the last day before the rapture of the church. It's better to be wrong now than to be wrong for all eternity. This is not fear-mongering. We're loving you. We're telling you so that you don't end up in eternal damnation. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Your soul is on the line. If we're wrong about the rapture, that's fine. We still go to heaven. If we're not, you're going to be stuck here, and the Holy Spirit is going to be gone from the earth. The way that we're able to understand the Bible right now is through the Holy Spirit. So being saved after we're gone is going to be so much more difficult. If you are not getting it now, there is going to be a strong delusion that's going to come upon people that will be so strong that people will believe it. So
you know what to
this
say.
is your last chance. This is the final call. Repent. Believe in Jesus today. Today is the day of your salvation.
Wow.
So, yeah, back then she was saying, this is the final point. This is the final countdown. If you don't believe in Jesus now, then you're going to go to hell, basically.
That was like a serious speed run of apologetics. It was like fear-mongering and Pascal's wager. And like you could go through and play some bingo with that one.
I mean, yeah, it was classic Pascal's wager, which in my opinion is one of the most easy to debunk arguments, because I mean, I think that you can do Pascal's wager for anything.
Yeah.
Like you can make the same argument to her about a different religion.
Yeah.
You can say like, well, if Islam is true, it's better for you to convert to Islam, because if you don't, then you're going to go to Islamic hell, basically. So like you can make the same argument. It really doesn't carry very much weight. Something that was interesting to me that I noticed about this lady is that she actually has angel numbers tattooed on her chest, which, as far as I understand, is a very new age thing. I don't know if you know about angel numbers.
Yeah, like repeating sequences of numbers being somehow reflective of angelic interference in the world or universe or something.
Like repeating numbers have like spiritual significance to them, and different numbers mean different things. And a lot of the time, people who feel like they see certain numbers repeated to them just like throughout their life, like maybe they'll look at their phone and it says like 333 or something. And so they'll take that to mean something spiritual. But as far as I understand, like that's kind of a new age thing. So it's unless she kind of meshes that with her Christianity, which a lot of people do. But when it comes to these very like evangelical, like rapture heavy type of Christians, usually they're very much against anything that's like new age or occult.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think is that, okay, well, the rapture is a pretty new Christian belief. So
yeah,
maybe she likes all the new shiny religious wacky stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of a common denominator with all of the, with not all, but like with a lot of the people we'll be looking at today is that they seem to be very much into numerology and take a lot of significance from seeing certain numbers.
So they see patterns in things where there either could be just randomness, or they draw significance from things which are not actually significant.
Yeah. I'm actually not really against numerology or deriving spiritual significance from numbers. Like 666 has spiritual significance to me, but I think that there's a really big difference between it having some sort of personal meaning to you and it enriching your life in kind of a smaller, more practical way versus taking it to mean that the end of the world is imminent.
Yeah.
I think those are very different things.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about the second coming, but if you all would like maybe not only a second, but maybe a third or fourth, then you should check out the sponsor of today's video, Womanizer. So spooky season is upon us, which means Yule is just around the corner. And Womanizer just came out with a brand new couples advent calendar stuffed full of amazing goodies that you and your partner can play with all winter long. You guys know that Womanizer is one of my go-to brands, and what makes Womanizer stand out from the competition is that they're the original inventors of suction toys. As pioneers of this type of toy, they possess the experience and knowledge to craft high-quality and reliable products. They offer a wide range of toys at all price points, all featuring their patented pleasure air technology. So let's get into this bad boy, shall we? On top of a ton of bedroom accessories and fun couples games that you and your partner get to open every day leading up to Christmas, the couples advent calendar also features some of Womanizer's fan favorite toys, including the Womanizer Classic 2 and the WeVibe Sync Lite. Like all Womanizer products, the Classic 2 features their patented pleasure air technology. It's 100% waterproof, has 10 different intensity levels, and also has an afterglow button, which is one of my favorite features because if you know, you know. Their WeVibe Sync Lite is designed to be stimulating for both partners and can actually be controlled remotely using the WeVibe mobile app. So even if one of you is traveling for the holidays, you can still enjoy some fun time together. You don't need to worry about that. Okay, so get this. The couple's advent calendar is actually worth over $600, but Womanizer is offering it for only $219. I mean, the Classic 2 and the WeVibe bought alone are worth over $200, so this is an amazing deal. Seriously, there is so much fun stuff jam-packed into this advent calendar. I might have already opened some of the other boxes because I really just couldn't help myself. Womanizer also has a special deal just for my followers. If you use the code Taylor10, you'll get 10% off your entire order from womanizer.com. This is an incredible deal just in time for the holidays. All right, thank you so much, Womanizer. Now back to the video. So the next TikTok that I wanted to show you from this lady, unfortunately, she deleted it, and I think I know why.
Okay.
Because she started after the September 23rd Rapture didn't happen. She started believing that was going to be on October 7th, and in the Rapture Watcher community, which apparently that's an entire, like, Watcher community is an entire thing on TikTok, a lot of them believe that it was supposed to happen on a full moon. At first they said it was the new moon.
Right.
And then they changed it to be a full moon.
Okay.
And they point to this verse in the Bible that talks about when the new moon is full. So you could interpret it
Either way.
Yeah, either way. And the verse says, when the new moon is full, the trumpets will sound, or something like that. So they took that to mean, at first, that's going to be the new moon, and now that it's going to be a full moon. And she she made this TikTok where she talked about it has to be this year. It has to be October 7th, 2025, because if you jump to October 7th, 2026, it's not going to be a full moon.
Oh, okay.
But also they connected all of this to Jewish holidays.
Yeah.
And like first it was Rosh Hashanah. Now they're saying was supposed to be Sukkot. And she didn't understand that Jewish holidays go by the lunar cycles.
Yeah.
So they're not on the same date every single year. So she was saying like, oh, in 2026 on this Jewish holiday there's not going to be a full moon. Oh, in 2027 on this Jewish holiday there's not going to be a full moon. And like she was just going up through the years so that she could say it has to be 2025.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, she didn't understand.
She didn't do basic fact checking.
Yeah, she didn't do basic fact checking. And I think either she realized that or somebody told her and she's since deleted it. But I found another TikTok of hers I want to show you.
Okay.
So those who are watching for the rapture, I have a very important message to hold on a little bit longer. In just a little while, he who is coming will come and not delay. But how long? How long? How long, O Lord, holy and true, will you judge those who dwell upon the earth and avenge our blood? Then each of them was given a white robe and told to rest a little while longer. So I'm just telling you to rest and wait just a little while longer. They're releasing the hostages October 1450 from the Middle East, which is also falling on Shimini Azarat, which is a Jewish holiday celebrated, and it will be from the 13th to the 14th of October, which is also around the same time that Sukkot ends. Sukkot is also known as the Feast of the Ingathering, or Harvest Festival, or a perfect way to end Sukkot with an ingathering in heaven. Also, there's a 21-day difference between September 23rd and October 14th. The prophet Daniel, who was given the prophecy of the 1200 days of tribulation, this angel was delayed 21 days.
I like almost feel like she's trolling, but she's very serious. So yeah, the rapture didn't happen October 7th, and now she's saying it's going to be on October 13th or 14th because that's when Israel is set to let hostages go, or
we'll see if they
maybe
even do.
Gaza.
Yeah, whether Hamas is going to release hostages. We'll see whether that actually ends up happening. I'm not really sure, but I mean, to me, this was like there are these old jokes that people used to like post on Facebook about like, oh, I'm really bad at math. When I like hear a word problem, I'm like, they give me all of the variables and then I'm supposed to solve the problem. But to me, it's like reading, you know, if there's a bee in the woods, why is there a pancake on the roof? Like, I have no idea what you're trying to say. And that is the spirit of how I feel listening to this.
And the thing is, she's going to be able to make these connections with numbers forever because you can look at any, like, first of all, there's a million Jewish holidays, like there's a million of them. There's going to be so many different verses in the Bible that talk about different like periods of time and numbers and all these different kind of feasts. She's going to be able to make these connections with a ton of different things.
Yeah.
If, you know, because in the first TikTok that we watched, she was saying, like, this is your last opportunity. This is your last opportunity. It's like, are you going to, like, realistically tell your followers this, like, every week?
Yeah.
Because,
just wait a little while longer.
Yeah.
You can just use her logic to just delay in perpetuity completely.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the danger in that is that there are going to be people that unfortunately listen to her and kind of get sucked down this entire thing. I don't think that she's a large creator on TikTok, but there are going to be some people that get sucked into that. And I just can't imagine how anxiety inducing that must be for those people to every single week there's this new connection this lady is making to make it sound like that the world is going to end like at any day now.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's irresponsible on her part.
Absolutely.
Like, if you want to believe that yourself, that's one thing, but to be spreading it online, I feel like is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is just kind of fun.
The rapture of the church is in 1 minute. The rapture of the church will drop in 1 minute.
And it says from 1 day ago.
I mean, okay, is he trying to go out like Klingon style, eyes open, screaming? Like that's what's going on.
I guess. So I went to this guy's like page, and there are just tons of videos like that are exactly in this format where he's saying the rapture of the church is going to be in 20 minutes. The rapture of the church is going to be in an hour. And like, there's just a million of them.
Yeah. And
I can't actually tell with this particular individual if he's being serious or if he's kind of trolling. Like, it seems almost serious.
Yeah.
But there was a commenter who said that they suspect that this guy is just trying to promote, I guess he's a musician, and he's just trying to promote an album that he's coming out with that's called Rapture.
Okay.
So
okay, so he's like the Rapture will drop, and I was like that language makes it sound like a product release, like the new like Nike shoe is about to drop, and I mean like in 1 minute the new iPhone's gonna drop in 1 minute. Like Jesus is not coming like delivering a product. He's like taking a bunch of people off the earth and then fucking up everything for everybody else.
Yeah, but then also like there's a TikTok that there's several TikToks he made after this one where he's saying the rapture will drop in 5 hours or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like he was counting down to his album release.
Okay.
It just seems like every day he's saying, oh, the rapture's going to happen in 20 minutes. Oh, the rapture's going to happen in 5 hours. It almost seems like, I don't know.
It's a formula for a successful TikTok, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. And like, so I kind of feel like maybe it's a gimmick, but then also he was live on TikTok at one point and I watched a little bit of it and it seemed like he was serious. So I don't know. Okay. Who knows?
Well, buddy, if you're watching this and you are serious, we love you. We're worried about you.
Yeah.
Please come home. Imagine that being your entire like brand. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm a content creator. What do you do? I scream at the sky.
I kind of just wanted to show you some of the other ones.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so right now it's 2:41 p.m. for me. In about 19 minutes, I'm going to be doing my live performance. My set is called The Rapture of the Church. I'm going to be doing this live on TikTok. So in about 19 minutes or so, if you guys are willing, please join me on TikTok. I'm going to be performing my live set for The Rapture of the Church. You guys will join me there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hype. My new album, The Rapture of the Church, just dropped. Please go check it out. It's pretty hype. Also, I have it here on TikTok, so please, I encourage you to use these songs like in your videos. If you ever think any of them are cool or like relatable, please feel free to use them in your videos. All these songs that you guys hear from my first album and from this album too, I produced them, mixed them, and mastered them all from scratch. And I did it all in my bedroom. So all glory to God, because ultimately he's the one that inspires me and gives me the drive to go out and to pursue this and to also share it with y'all. But today I'm asking for a little bit of support. But I'll see you guys there. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, maybe
all right.
it's just to promote his album. Someone commented, wait a minute, so you mean to tell me that this whole entire time you were talking about your music and not the actual rapture? Or are you trying to cover up the fact that you were wrong about the actual rapture happening?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's got the pipes. We know that.
Okay. So I have some super sad news for you.
Jesus died again.
So do you remember the guy who had sold his car because he thought that the rapture was happening on the 23rd?
Yeah.
And then when the rapture didn't happen, he came onto TikTok and made this really big apology.
I'm never going to talk about the rapture again. I'm never going to do this again. I'm getting off social media. Like that guy, right?
Yeah. He was saying, like that he's never going to publicly talk about the rapture again.
Yeah.
Because he got this so wrong and he feels bad that he might have led people astray. And then he also said that he was going to step back from social media for a few weeks to a few months to like sort out his life. Would you know it that he was back posting on TikTok literally a day later?
About the rapture.
Not about the rapture, but a couple days after that, he started talking about the rapture again and was fully on board that the rapture was going to happen on October 7th.
Well, what a shock.
What does Owen say? Well, knock me over with a feather.
I feel like you're like watching these TikToks and I'm like, you watching some crazy bitches?
Okay, so yeah, after Pastor Joshua went back on that podcast to reschedule the rapture, this guy fully believed what he said and supported him. So we're going to take a look at a TikTok from that.
I know a lot of people are deserting Brother Joshua in this hour, but let me make it clear where I stand with Brother Joshua. If you come for Brother Joshua, you have to come for me too. If you come for Brother Joshua, you got to come for me too. And many did come for me, but it hasn't worked because God... I'm still standing and holding to my post, and I will continue to, because God. You can't destroy what's built by God and sent by God. And I'm talking directly at Satan here. Yeah.
So that was a little disturbing.
He's like, if you come for me, you're not gonna like what happens after that. You threaten me and my family? You're not gonna be able to walk tomorrow. You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes.
Okay, so I speculate that this TikTok and him being all like mysterious and, you know, like, oh, I'm talking to you, Satan.
Yeah.
I think that this was actually directed at Mike Winger.
Really?
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, Mike Winger is a Christian YouTuber who's really popular.
He's pretty popular, yeah.
And he's kind of made a series of videos, I think, or covered this whole rapture thing. And he's been very much on the side of Pastor Joshua is a false prophet. And he's even called him a sociopath and stuff. So he's been like very much against him.
Yeah. And
this guy made another TikTok where he was like directly talking about how Mike Winger is wrong. So I think that this whole thing was directed at him, which is like, okay.
I don't know. That's pretty wild. I know that Mike Winger has also been calling out a bunch of sexual abusers in positions of power in evangelicalism and otherwise. And yeah, I know that people have been pretty mad at him for doing that. And
of course.
I definitely wouldn't say that we're aligned with Mike Winger, but you know, I'll be like, that's good when I see it. Like, those are good things that he's doing. I'm glad he's calling out people in his own group that are doing bad things, obviously. But so it's really funny to hear someone say that like Mike Winger is like Satan, or implying that, because Mike Winger has been like spreading conservative, like evangelical Christian rhetoric for like longer than this guy has been like conscious. So,
well, I mean, that's kind of what you get with these types of Christians. They constantly accuse other Christians that aren't of their same denomination or don't believe things exactly the same way as them. They're constantly accusing them of actually being demonic and in league with Satan.
Which is funny because I've heard, not Mike Winger necessarily, but I've heard basically all of Mike Winger's like YouTube friends all say that about other people. So it's kind of funny to see that come back. I guess there's not really any standard for that accusation, is there?
Oh, okay. So I'm not going to show you this TikTok because it's way too long, but I do want to summarize it. So this guy made another TikTok where he claimed that the rapture, like he knew that the rapture was back on because months ago, I think like back in July or something, he ordered a shofar, which is a ram's horn that I think is used more in like Jewish settings, but he ordered one, and I think they're very popular in the Watcher community because in the Bible it talks about how at the end times they're gonna sound the trumpets or whatever. And this guy, he's been talking about the rapture on TikTok for forever, so he wanted a shofar, so he ordered one. But it didn't get delivered until recently. He said that the package was delivered at 2:34, but he is in Australia and it would be like 14:34 for them because they kind of like use military time. And then he said that if you look up the number 14:34 in Strong's Concordance of the Bible, the associated word is gift. And so he took this as a sign that the rapture is still happening because God is giving him this gift. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like there's probably a book or two where I could look up like the 1400th 34th word and it's gullible. And would that prove my point? Probably not.
So yeah, as you can tell, a lot of these people are really into numerology type stuff.
Yeah.
This is another more recent one of his.
Guys, I just had a crazy God moment regarding September 23rd to the 24th on the Julian calendar. You guys remember me sharing this confirmation the other day? 9/23, 24th of the 9th, right? September 23rd, September 24th on the Julian calendar, which is October 6th to 7 on the Gregorian calendar, the normal calendar, fake Gregorian calendar that we use. I just realized these two cars were parked 10 meters away from the 23rd and 24th house on this street. So this is the street that they were parked on, and that's the 23rd house right there. You can see it, number 23. And the cars were just parked like 10 meters away, literally 10 meters away in that direction. So there you go, that's number 23. And opposite number 23 is number 24. If that isn't God, if that isn't double confirmation, then I don't know what is. You happen to tell me you had two cars with the license plates, 923, and then after it, 24th of the 9th, 2249, parked 10 meters away from the 23rd and the 24th house on this street opposite each other. That's double confirmation right there. The bride is going up September 23rd to the 24th, which is October 6th to 7 on the Julian calendar. Also, I just realized both car badges start with H. So this is obviously a Honda, and this is a Hyundai. So H for Harpazo, right? You can see the H just above the 923 there, and you can see the Hyundai H just above the 24.9 there. So Harpazo, 23rd to the 24th, Julian calendar. Or it could be H for home. You know, we're going home on the 23rd to the 24th on the Julian calendar.
I think that's H for seek some help. Jesus, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you really could, if you're willing to go that far to find these specific numbers, you could find them in any setting whatsoever.
Right.
You could be like, oh, look, there's 24 leaves on this branch or something like that.
Yeah. Like, it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just coincidence. And, like, the numbers were not even in order. Like, one said 923 and the other one said, like, 24-9 or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, did he get out there with, like, a measuring stick to, like, measure how far apart these cars were from these houses? It's just, like, I mean, if you're looking for this stuff, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Because there are just these weird coincidence types, and like humans are very good at finding patterns.
Yeah.
Like we will find patterns in chaos. So it's like I just can't believe he got like sucked down this whole entire thing again. It's just really sad to me.
It makes me wonder how genuine he was when he was announcing, I'm never going to do this again. Like, did he 30 minutes later go, you know, or was he saying that just to like hedge his bets a little bit? Like, it's just the I'm getting whiplash from how different his tone is in these videos.
Yeah, because like in the one when he was apologizing, it seemed like he was very sincere.
Yeah.
And like really actually did feel bad.
And he was more coherent in that video than this. Yeah.
And that video's still up on his page.
Huh.
And then like just a few days later, like 2 or 3 days later, he's back on the rapture's happening and I'm seeing all these signs. And now, of course, the rapture hasn't happened again, and he hasn't posted anything since, which I
just wait a little bit longer. Just wait a little bit longer.
But he also said that I remember in his apology video, he was saying that he is a very impressionable person or something, and that he does life in extremes, and when he has like an inkling about something, he'll just go with it and like see it through. And he was kind of talking about that as though it's something that maybe he needs to work on.
Yeah.
And yet he like didn't apply any of that thinking to his future self at all. So I do think with this guy, I'm not really sure what's going on with him. I hope he gets some help because it does kind of seem a little serious.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's very healthy to go through life with like these dramatic swings of emotion and like being so invested and like fully in to these things that like always end up not panning out. That just seems like such a chaotic life to lead. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So this next one is maybe even crazier than the ones we've seen.
Oh, joy. Great.
All right, guys. I got to be honest with you. I hardly have the stomach to share this at all, but Ezekiel 33 verse 6 commands me to be like a watchman on the wall, and if I don't share this with you, the burden's on me. So here you go. Listen to this very carefully. There will be 3 days of total darkness. This is a mercy and a grace for everybody who just tries to laugh me out of the room. You have no idea what you're doing. You need to listen to me. I don't do this because I want to. I'm almost sick to my stomach right now about this message I'm about to share with you. There's no time. See, this is it. Either rapture or nothing. This is it. You're not going to have the chance you think. It's not going to be here for you. If you live in the same continent that I live in, you need to stop joking and you need to be serious. You need to sober up right now, spiritually. I'm not playing.
Okay, so there actually is a little bit more to this TikTok, but just for brevity's sake, I'm not going to include it, but I want to summarize what happens in the rest of this TikTok. So you notice he was talking about 3 days of darkness.
Yeah.
So you're probably wondering where that came from.
Yeah.
So in the TikTok, he actually shows a clip from that Sent Twins TV, which is the South African podcast, or I think it's South African podcast that Pastor Joshua initially went on to do the whole rapture prediction in the first place. Well, they also had this other lady on. And I'm not sure if she's a pastor or who she is, if she's like a prophetess or something. I'm not completely sure. But she told the host of the podcast that she knew that the rapture was going to happen because she had a vision or a dream from God that showed her this comet or meteor apparently striking North America. And just North America. And she said that she could see like it rippling and affecting the rest of the world, but it only hit North America. and it completely obliterated this part of the continent. And this starts the period of tribulation. And then the guy who made the TikTok, he, like, to support her vision even further, quotes Amos 5:18-22, which says, "Woe to you who long for the day of the Lord. Why do you long for the day of the Lord? That day will be darkness and not light." So he uses that verse to support what this lady is saying about how there's going to be
total darkness because what, there's ash up in the sky, or did they even say that?
They don't really even say that, but that's kind of like the implication.
Okay. I mean, even if we were like nuclear winter levels of like debris and ash and things up in the sky, it wouldn't be completely dark. I mean, maybe I'm splitting hairs here on the prophecy, but like, I don't know. It sounds like they're saying that we're gonna go the way of the dinosaurs, or at least Americans are gonna go the way of the dinosaurs.
Well, and I feel like it also doesn't make sense, because if she's saying that there's this meteor that's going to like wipe North America off the face of the planet, that's gonna lead to, I would assume, everyone's death, like the end of humanity.
Yeah.
Because wasn't the asteroid that hit Earth with the dinosaurs like way smaller than that?
I mean,
and it killed all of them?
I mean, I can't remember exactly how big it is, but I guess it would. See, we're trying to do a little bit of science here. Like, how much would it burn up on entry of the actual atmosphere? Like, I don't know. You guys, I'm sure there's somebody in your audience who would know, like, how large of a stellar body would have to, or like a interstellar body would have to hit the Earth at what speed to be able to obliterate it. But yeah, if all life was wiped out in North America on impact.
Yeah, it's like that was like on impact.
Yeah,
like almost saying that the like asteroid's going to be that big or something.
Yeah, if the asteroid is like around the size of North America, or the crater would be something like the size of North America, we're all dead. Like everyone
right?
is dead. The only thing that's alive is like certain types of bacteria or something.
Yeah.
And tardigrades. But Jesus.
But, and also, like, why are we listening to this random lady? Why was anyone listening to Pastor Joshua? Because there's not really that much that's known about him, other than he's like from South Africa. And I read an article about him. He had a church, or was going to have a church a few years ago, but then that didn't pan out, and he doesn't have a church right now that he's pastoring. He's just like a random dude.
Yeah.
And then this lady, it's like, who is she? I don't know. I feel like this Sent Twins TV podcast is doing a lot of harm in the world right now, and we need to like rein it in.
I think it's wild that these people are saying, you need to listen, you need to look these things up, you need to learn, you need to sober up. When it's like, if you just looked into this a little bit and were more sober-minded and thought about this critically, you'd realize like there's not actual good evidence to think any of this stuff. And yet they're telling us, like, hey, you need to think about this. You need to be serious.
It's just like with that one lady who is connecting. She's like, oh, in 2026, there's no full moon. It's like, but if you just like Googled when is, Rosh Hashanah 2026, so I'll give you the date. Like, you can look into these things.
Yeah.
But these people, they look into something enough to make these kind of like wild connections, and then they just run with it. And like that's kind of where the critical thinking ends. And it's like, no, you got to do more than that.
It makes you realize that I think it's more about feeling special or important or well-informed, more so than it is about like actually knowing something for real. Yeah,
which I can understand. I feel like I can understand to an extent, because I feel like most people want to feel special in some way. And I think that we kind of on the other side of a lot of this, being, atheists or Satanists or just secular in general, we can kind of look at this and be like, oh, you guys are so self-centered. You want to be special so bad. You're like undergoing psychosis. And I understand where that's coming from, but I do kind of have pause with that, because it's like, I think that everybody does want to feel special to a certain extent. It's just like these people are taking it to an extreme.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know how else to say it.
I have warned plenty of atheists away from thinking that they're so special just because they're atheists, to the point where they let their own hubris and egos cloud their own judgment, and then they actually become much more prone to a bunch of bullshit, which is something I think I'll probably talk about on my channel in the coming month or two.
Yeah, I mean, because people can definitely do it on the other side.
Yeah.
Atheists will, like you said, think that they're super special, or like they're above all of this, or they're super enlightened. And it's like, you're still a human being at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're not as rational as you think you are. He doesn't know it yet, but I've been fighting a battle for him. Preparing for him to be left behind. I don't know if it'll matter. But I won't give up. So this one I find a little bit interesting, because I think the implication here is that this lady's husband is not a Christian, because if the rapture happens and she's raptured and he's left behind, that means he didn't put his faith in Jesus. So, and I find that interesting from the standpoint of, when we were in this type of conservative Christianity, we were always warned against being unequally yoked and told that that was like, a marriage won't survive that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I find it just a little bit like surprising, but I also feel like we did get that message of like, don't be unequally yoked. But if you get married and then one of you falls away from the faith, there was also this messaging of, well, you need to stay in the marriage and just keep praying that they'll come back to Jesus.
Yeah. Some people were taught that. I actually was not taught that way, but
really?
Yeah, some people are.
I feel like I was taught more that way.
Okay.
Because there was this movie called Fireproof, where that's kind of part of the movie, is that there's this couple and the husband, I don't remember if he like completely leaves the faith, but he's struggling, maybe having a lot of doubts, living in sin.
He watches porn like one time.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
But to them, that's like, oh, you watched porn one time, you must not be a Christian anymore or something. And the wife like just keeps praying for him and staying by his side through everything. And then because of her prayer, he ends up coming back to God. And so I feel like I was kind of brought up with maybe more of that messaging than like, I think I got both. I got both.
Okay.
But I think it's different like when you're not married yet. Like if you're unequally yoked and you're just dating, that's like very like, oh, you shouldn't get married.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different situation if you both marry when you're Christian and then one of you leaves.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. So she's a Christian and he's not. I actually wonder if he's like explicitly like, no, I'm not a Christian, or if she's just like, yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit. He's not gonna come up here with us. And then like what happened after all this stuff, like, it's October 9th right now. Like yesterday, did they have a big fight because he found all of this crap like in his underwear drawer? It's like, hey, why are you leaving me Bibles and money? And like, is this why you've been canning so many vegetables all the time and telling me where they are? And like, is this why you've been praying so much, like when we're getting ready for bed at night? And she's like, yeah, well, I thought that you weren't going to be raptured. And he's like, what the fuck? Why wouldn't I be raptured with you? Like, I don't know. That's a scenario in my head, but maybe he's used to her having shenanigans, because I am noticing kingdom-minded NP, non-toxic. You told me that this lady is a naturopath. Yeah. So people in her life are used to her being fucking crazy. Yeah. So like naturopaths are people that don't really believe in Western medicine. They say that they do. They say that they combine the two, but they really don't. And they don't really believe in science. I mean, they don't even really believe in like indigenous science. They believe that like most illnesses can be addressed with just like supplements and essential oils. And like quantum therapy and like, light therapy. Yeah, light therapy. And yeah, they say that things are scientific when they're in no way scientific or evidence-based whatsoever.
Looking at this like canning that they're doing, I jumped to a different conclusion about that because I know people in my life that are canning or like stocking up, not for the rapture or the end times, but for like the implosion of the U.S. government.
Well, yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can see things kind of going sideways in the U.S. and maybe having some backup supplies is probably not a bad idea.
For when the U.S. military occupies blue cities a little more than they're already doing. Yeah.
The Feast of Trumpets, September 23rd and 24th, has come and gone. There were many reasons to believe that the rapture of the church would happen, but it didn't. And now the scoffers are doing their thing, and there is no shortage of people who passionately rebuke the sin of trying to guess the date Jesus is coming back. Except it's not actually a sin. Jesus did not warn us about those trying to figure out when he's coming. He warned us about those who say that he's already come. Big difference. Getting a date wrong does not make someone a false prophet. The prophecy itself is still accurate. The rapture of the church will come. So they were prophesying correctly. They just got the date wrong, which happens a lot because God rarely provides a specific date in a prophecy. Most of the time he tells you what's coming and then gives you the markers, the signs to watch for. And regarding the rapture and the end times, all the signs that Jesus told us to watch for are happening before our very eyes. So you best be watching for his coming. Forget the mockers, push away every distraction, and focus on Jesus. Those who are trying to figure out the date are actually the ones on the right track. They are focused and they're excited about the return of Christ. Any day now, Jesus will snatch away those who are spiritually alive and fully committed to him. Everyone else will get another chance during the Great Tribulation.
You're saying that we're going to get a chance to lay down our pride. I think that a good way to shepherd us non-believers toward Christ is to set an example. So how about you lay down your pride and say, oh, looks like we were wrong about this.
Yeah, or at least say, I don't know.
Yeah.
He also kind of gives me like Milady vibes a little bit.
Yeah,
I
get that a little bit.
Well, it's just like, okay. But yeah, so he's talking about how prophets, when they set a date to something and then it doesn't come to pass, they're not actually doing anything wrong, and God doesn't look down on them or judge them, because that doesn't necessarily mean that the prophecy was wrong. That just means the date was wrong, which like in my head, I'm like, that doesn't compute, because isn't a prophecy, isn't it about the future? Like, how can it be prophetic if there's not a date in the future that you're associating with an event? Isn't that the entire point?
It sounds like he's saying that as long as you are abiding by a specific doctrinal interpretation of such and such prophetic passage, as far as the content rather than the timeline, like, then you're fine. But the timeline is like totally separate, like a totally separate thing. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, what if the tribulation is 12 years? What if it's 1 year? What if it's 100 years? Like, isn't that just a mistake of timeline? If that turns out to be the case, but the Bible, per your interpretation, said something like it was going to be a 7-year period, does that count as a disagreement or false prophecy of, like, doctrinal substance? Or is that just a timeline mistake that he's excusing here?
Well, when we talk about, like, doctrinal substance, I mean, there's a whole subset of Christians who don't think the rapture is doctrinal in the first place.
The majority of Christians, yeah.
And, like, what is doctrine and what is prophecy, and what verses of the Bible are just, like, applicable to the people at that time versus something prophetic for the future.
Yeah.
Like, it's all interpreted in different ways. So it's like, I don't know. And to me, I just think that, like, if something's a prophecy, that usually has a date associated with it, or at least, like, a general idea of when something's going to happen. Because he's saying, like, oh, all the signs are here, which he doesn't really say which signs they are, but maybe he has other TikToks where he explains that. But it's like, I'm sure people, during World War II also thought that all the signs were there.
Yeah.
People 500 years ago probably thought all the signs were there. Like, any point in history, I think I can't remember the exact amount of time, but I feel like it's like there's only been like 100 years or 200 years in all of human history where there hasn't been war or something like that. It's like there's always been stuff going on that people can point to and be like, the end times are here.
Yeah, even before Christianity, that was a thing. I mean, Christianity
Yeah.
came from Jews saying that in a completely different way.
Apocalyptic Judaism.
Yeah. And apocalyptic religions existed before apocalyptic Judaism too. So, I mean, you're not special.
Yeah. But at any rate, him saying that, prophesying and the date being wrong isn't a sin, or like kind of saying without saying it, like there can't be any false prophets. Like that's not, I feel like the Bible speaks against that.
Yeah, I mean, at least with my interpretation, it's always been like, if you say that a thing's going to happen and it doesn't happen as you say and when you say,
you're a false prophet.
then you're a false prophet,
Yeah.
and we're going to kill you.
Like there's a verse, Deuteronomy 18:20-22 that says, "But the prophet who presumes to speak a word in my name that I have not commanded him to speak, or who speaks in the name of other gods, that same prophet shall die. And if you say in your heart, how may we know the word that the Lord has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the word does not come to pass or come true, that is a word that the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You need to be afraid of him, or you need not be afraid of him." So it's like, I feel like the Bible is saying if it doesn't come to pass, then that prophet was basically lying.
Deuteronomy is doing a little Wendy Williams moment right now.
Death to all of them. I do want to be careful with this, because I don't want to be saying or implying that there's one true interpretation of these verses that I just said, because I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think that the Bible can be interpreted in infinite ways. But that being said, I feel like the most common understanding of these verses, and a lot of people's understanding of how God works, is that if there is such thing as false prophets, and if someone prophesies something and it doesn't happen, then they're not good, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so to end out this video, I'm curious, now that the rapture has failed for a second time, how do you think Pastor Joshua, or whoever, but probably Pastor Joshua, and he hasn't, as far as I've seen, said anything publicly since the second rapture prediction has failed. How do you think he's going to move the goalpost? What do you think he's going to say now?
I mean, so when he made his first moving of the goalpost, he said that he heard from a different person about the whole Julian calendar thing, and you should go listen to him because he'll teach you much better than Pastor Joshua can teach anyone. And so I could see him shifting the blame onto him, like, he's the false prophet because I got false instruction and I was just relying on him. I could see that happening. Or I could see him honestly just doing the same thing again, like not trying to make any kind of excuse, just, okay, actually there's another date because of this and this factor we haven't considered. Because honestly, if you're willing to believe the way that he moved the goalpost the first time, I think people, and all the like weird stuff with like license plates and stuff, I think there's a group of people out there that will believe him no matter what justification he uses. It's not really about the justification.
Yeah, I wonder if that group of people is going to be big enough for him. Like if there's going to be enough followers for him to kind of form a little cult around him. Because I think, I don't know for sure, but I feel like this guy, maybe that's kind of where he's wanting to direct all of this, because that's usually how these kind of pastors work, is that they want to have like a little cult following. But for me, I kind of wonder if he's going to say that the rapture did happen, but in like a spiritual sense. Or like in some sort of like spiritual, like our Christian spirits were raptured up or something like that. That's kind of what I feel like he might say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about it. If I was him in his situation and I was just cynically trying to grab as much power and wealth as possible, I would say something like that. Like, it did happen in some kind of like incorporeal way, and the fact that you're still here means that, yeah, you were the watchers, but you're not good enough yet. And so if you want to be instantly raptured up, or raptured up at a later date, then that's going to happen. But you have to devote yourself to, and essentially, me.
Yeah.
That's what,
that would be really smart.
If I wanted to grift, like, that's how I would do it. Unfortunately, I actually have, like, moral principles, and
Yeah.
I can experience guilt, unlike Pastor Joshua, it seems.
I feel like he could definitely do that. I think also he could say that the rapture has started, but like our understanding of the rapture being instantaneous, like that's God works in mysterious ways and God doesn't use time. He's outside of time. So maybe the rapture has started, but it hasn't, it's not going to be finished for, you know, a while longer.
Yeah. Like we haven't installed fiber yet, so the upload speed's actually pretty slow. And it's just, I mean, we're watching that wheel go around. We'll tell you when it gets there.
We're only uploaded like 2%.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're probably... I really hope that this is not like if he, for some reason, sees this video is like getting ideas from what we're talking, because we're giving him a lot of good ideas of how he could like move the goalpost.
Yeah.
You guys, don't forget to check out Womanizer's Couples Advent Calendar and use my code Taylor10 at womanizer.com to get 10% off your entire purchase.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and a huge thank you to my patrons who help make these videos possible. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe and ring the bell. If you'd like to follow me on social media, my Instagram is Taylor_the_Antibot. And if you'd like to consider supporting this channel financially, a link to my Patreon will be down in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. Say bye.